it's time that the Palestinian community and their enablers recognize this. The Jews are home and they're not going anywhere. I want to tell you something that guides me as I interpret the conflict that Israel finds herself in with the Palestinians and her neighbors. I am deeply committed to justice and peace. I take this very, very seriously. I want to be a person who advocates and works for justice and peace for all peoples, not just the people who agree with me. I do not want to live in a world where there is not room for discussion and debate and disagreement and diversity. I think it's absolutely urgent and absolutely necessary. So people are confused when they see my strong position on behalf of Israel. And they look and they say, man, has Stearns been brainwashed? How come he doesn't see both sides of the scenario? As if I haven't spent 30 years examining both sides of the scenario, or all sides is really the proper way to put it. And a lot of times I look at those people and I think, how many times have you been through the checkpoints? They want to complain about the checkpoints that the Palestinians have to go through and this horrible process of the checkpoints. And they sit here on their university campuses or in their mainline denominational pulpits. Oh, the horrible injustice of the checkpoints. And I think to myself, I've been through the checkpoints hundreds of times. How many times have you been through? So I have vast firsthand experience from 30 plus years of friendship with Jews, Muslims, Palestinians, Druze, Arabs, Arab Christians, Jews, Orthodox, secular. Deep, deep investment into all sides of trying to understand this conflict. And here is what I have found at the end of the day. I have been in many meetings with Palestinians and their supporters discussing their proposed solutions to the conflict. Some of these have been actual public demonstrations. And time after time after time, over and over and over again, I have found that the subliminal message is there must be the end and the annihilation of the Jewish state, the state of Israel, the only nation on planet Earth where the Jews can live as Jews. There are dozens and dozens of nations where Christians can live as Christians. There are dozens and dozens of nations where Muslims can live as Muslims. And on and on and on. There's one Jewish state. And sometimes overtly and sometimes quietly, I have found over and over again in the pro-Palestinian community the reality, sometimes very angrily, that there's going to be literally the extermination of the Jews, and other times in a very polite, sugar-coated way, the end of the Jewishness of the state of Israel. Contrast that against what I have heard in thousands of conversations over 30 plus years from my Jewish friends. And do you know what I hear from the Jewish people over and over and over and over again? This is what I hear. We just want to live in peace with our neighbors. I hear it from them over and over and over again. I have never, in 30 plus years, never one time have I heard a Jewish person say, death to the Palestinians, kill them all. I have never heard them say, we've got to retake and we got to drive them out of Bethlehem. We've got to drive them out of Gaza. Never heard it. Not once. When I visit When I visit Judea and Samaria, even there, I hear it over and over again. Oh, we sent a gift basket to our Palestinian neighbors. We reached out in friendship to our Palestinian. I hear it over and over and over again. I hear from my Jewish Israeli friends the desire for peaceful coexistence. And from the Palestinian community, sometimes loudly and angrily, and sometimes with great sugarcoating, I hear we have to have the end of the Jewish state. So I don't have to go down every bunny trail and every news report and every single altercation that happens to understand the reality of this. The Jewish people are simply trying to live in peace and harmony as best as possible as Jews in their ancient homeland. And it's time that the Palestinian community and their enablers recognize this. The Jews are home and they're not going anywhere.